Check, check, check. Check, check, check. There we go. We got it working now. Thank goodness. Hillary, I'm glad you're away. Hi. Welcome to the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. I'm glad that everyone is doing very, very well. And I'm going to figure out why we're getting it. Oh, I know why we're getting an echo, because my other system is still online. That's why. So there you go. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. This is Roland KC6JPG, located here in Rancho Cucamonga, California, United States of America, North America, planet Earth, and all things combined within our galaxies. The Amateur Television Network is a series of repeaters making it possible for you, our amateur television and YouTube superstars that you are, to make video communications with one another within our network coverage area. Yes, you can watch us on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're climbing. We're at 716 subscribers and going strong. They're passing the word around. This is terrific. YouTube.com/Amateur Television Network. No, we're not live at the moment, but we will have this recording on YouTube. It'll be nice and pretty. Don't have any RF equipment, but love to get on amateur television. And that's where our Whereby system is all about. Whereby.com/Amateur Television Network. Yes, and there is our beautiful group right here waiting to check in. You got it. We love that. You guys look terrific tonight. For more information about the Amateur Television Network, go to our website, www.atn-tv.com, and you'll get some great information regarding how to set up an amateur station, amateur television station, and, of course, showing all of our repeater systems, coverage maps, all things ATV. That's a lot of fun. And, of course, DMR Radio 3196 on the Brandmeister Network, 224 on the TGIF Network. Love to hear from you on DMR Radio. And yes, Keith is like, he's on it. You got it. We love it. This portion of this net is a directed net. Transmissions may be made after acknowledgement by net control, and a clear frequency always appreciated. We're going to go into bulletins and announcements. Actually, we're going to just go to bulletins and announcements right now. And let's start off with Tom, because we got a full house and plus. This is terrific. We're going to go right to Tom, WB6HYH, Rancho Cucamonga, the president of the Amateur Television Network, Southern California and Nevada Systems. Tom, take it away.
Well, thank you, Roland. And this is Tom, WB6HYH in Rancho Cucamonga. And same news as last week. Same bulletins as last week. We survived, did real good. According to my weather station here, we got 6.6 inches in 24 hours of rain. So she dumped a lot of rain on us, that Hillary did. And that was pretty good. I didn't think we were going to get that much. When I was about ready to go to bed, it wasn't that high, but I guess it dumped a lot around midnight, because when I got up in the morning, I couldn't believe another inch and a half. And before midnight on the day before, I had let's see, what was it, 5 inches, I guess. So we got a lot of rain out of that storm. No big winds, so that was really good. I'm glad of that, because my antenna's kind of twisting around in the breeze up there since my rotor plate fell down and got loose and everything. So I'm going to have to get working on that. I'm actually starting to work on a beam already to replace the one I've got up there. And it'll be a little bit better. It'll be a 5-element beam, a 5-band beam instead of a tri-bander. So I'm adding 12 meters and 18 meters. But anyways, that should be later in the net. As far as bulletins goes, I don't have anything else to add to that, Roland. So we'll continue on with what I've been doing ham radio-wise later in the net here. But I'll turn it back to you. I wanted to let Gary know he was both Garys. The one Gary here in Rancho Cucamonga I saw him in there. Beautiful picture. Didn't hear any audio, and Gary was breaking up quite a bit there when he was transmitting. So, but that's about it. So let me turn it back to you, Roland. This is WB6HYH in Rancho Cucamonga.
Well, WB6HYH, KC6JPG. Well, very good, Tom. Thank you very much for chiming in. I'd like to congratulate Gary, AA6GJ, for getting in the repeater on video. So, great job. Just work on your audio, and boy, you'll be ready. And I know Gary. He is the determined engineer he is. He is the man. And I love it. We work great together. So, got to do that. And we're working together again. And this is terrific. I'm loving this. I got to go out to lunch with you. You know that. It's time. Thanks again, Tom. All right. Don't forget, guess what? This Friday, and it's here already, the DATV QSO party. And it's going to be a party, that's for sure. And we're Bill over in the Boulder area, and Art Towsley over in the East Coast in Ohio, and of course myself. We're the three anchors for the United States, and it's going to be terrific. It's going to be starting with Art at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and we're going to work our way to the West Coast, and then of course that's the big one. That's where we're going to bring and chime you all in onto the Australia repeater systems. And it's going to be fun. And I've been doing some testing. Testing is doing great. So, and I'll be basically taking a half day off on Friday. I'll be home early and getting things ready, making sure that we are good to go for the big DATV QSO party coming up this Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, we're going to pass it over to our RF stations. Any stations I'd like to announce any bulletins or announcements for this evening's net, please come in at this time. KC6JPG, Net Control. All right, well, we're going to go over to Mount Wilson at this time. We're going to bring in Mike, WA6SVT, also known as VP6MC. And Mike, it's great to see you tonight, my friend. And how'd you fare out the storm over at in your neck of the woods? KC6JPG, Net Control.
Good evening to the net, WA6SVT here. Yeah, I stayed up here in the mountain at Mount Wilson. We had lost part of our what we call the TiVo line, which is a 32 kV line, and it took out the road department's house. They had no power. Then we were on generator power where the KCBS main transmitter is at the location's got the 1,000-foot guide tower. And part of the Fox TV complex lost power. The rest of the mountain was fine. And then the next evening, we still were having rain, and that was tonight, and everything got so soaked that water finally got through the cement cinder block, and it's poured concrete in there, and water started dripping on our UPS that's got 480 volts on it. So I wiped the top of the cabinet real quick with a rag and stuck a couple trash cans up because I got woke up at about 2 in the morning with the alarm screaming on the UPS, and only took about 14, 15 minutes. It dried out enough and the alarm went away. Luckily, it didn't drop the power. It just got on a sensitive circuit and it started saying there was some imbalance. So, and that's all self-corrected. And then I had to go up and find out where the water was coming in and wipe some of that up, and that was right next to where the ATV repeater was at upstairs. There was water on the floor, and then I put a fan to kind of dry the concrete out. So other than that, everything was doing pretty good. Let's see, got to go home last night, or late yesterday afternoon. I was able to get home, sleep in my own bed at home. We had to opening of the driveway all sandbags, because at one time the drain did clog, and my son had to go out and clear that, but the sandbags kept the water from roaring down the driveway into the garage. So no problem at the house. So that, and let's see, I think that's it. So look forward to the QSO party that Roland's working and along with others on. So back to net control. WA6SVT.
WA6SVT, KC6JPG. Well, very good, Mike. Thank you very much for chiming in. And yeah, I saw you chimed in on Sunday and noticed that you're at Mount Wilson. So I had figured that you were, standing by for the, for the storms and all that. So I'm glad everything worked out. So thank you very much for all that you do. Excellent. All right, well, let's go right into check-ins. And we're going to start with our RF systems, and we're going to start with Mount Wilson. So Mount Wilson check-ins come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control.
W6ORG. We're still around. We didn't wash away.
W6ORG, KC6JPG. Tom, it's great to see you. Great picture tonight. I'm not talking about the little radar lines. I'm talking about your picture. They look great. Audio's great. Glad that you survived the storm. Anything from the net tonight? Back to you, KC6JPG.
Well, just good evening, everybody. Glad to clean the dust off the ATB gear and to see it still working okay. And everybody on there. Hope to see some people Friday. Once in a while I get on the Zoom there with the ATCO group. But we've been real busy with ARES stuff and also our running club getting hams. And I'm now a VE, so I've been doing testing of new hams, so I've been still active in ham radio and having fun. I guess that's what counts.
W6ORG, KC6JPG. That's where it counts, Tom. Exactly. Being involved with our ham radio community, keeping ham radio alive, keeping ham radio strong, and basically doing what we do for the greater numbers, for the greater good. So you got that right, my friend. So thank you for all that you do. And as a matter of fact, thanks to Wolf, KV4ATV, he was my, my lead person in regards to the storms that were coming through, mainly Hillary coming through. We were able to do some ham casting on some of the National Weather Service stuff. So we're going to get back to him shortly when we do our check-ins for Florida. So Tom, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for checking in. Mount Wilson check-ins coming at this time. KC6JPG, net control.
Well, a lot of feedback all of a sudden. I don't know, first time that's happened. Do I have any audio? Can you hear me?
Hey, Merv, I hear you perfectly, loud and clear once you turn down the feedback. It's all yours, my friend. KC6JPG.
Well, here in Pacific Palisades, we're still waiting for the storm that was advertised. There was a little light shower that washed on my tennis court, and there was a mild wind, not as much as we used to look for when I had a sailboat, but, a nice stiff breeze. We kept waiting for the big storm, and then we saw on the television that it had passed by. So here we are. We're still waiting. KO6E.
KO6E, KC6JPG. Well, I'll tell you, Merv, you're blessed. You're definitely blessed. And I have to admit, just like what Tom said, Rancho Cucamonga did receive quite a bit of water. My dog run actually turned into a lap pool. Never seen that one before. My wife came down and she goes, Roland, water's not going out of our old dog run, and we have basically a brick wall to another brick wall, and then of course the side of the house. And sure enough, I looked down and I'm like, hey, look at that! We can swim in it. Anyway, so we were squeegeeing water out, and of course then I took my Wonder Bar and cleared out the pass through that's passing through the wall and drained the water out. So I'm glad that you fared the storm. I'm sorry you missed the storm, my friend, but I'm glad you fared it very, very well. So, and just like around here, we had very mild wind, if any wind. So it was more like an atmospheric river condition here at Rancho, right, Tom? Mm-hmm. Exactly. Merv, thanks for checking in, my friend. You're looking great tonight. Thank you. Mount Wilson check-ins come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control.
This is 86. Here. What was?
KD6NIZ, KC6JPG. Unfortunately, I only got probably a part of your call sign, and that was it on your audio. So, Ron, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn you into our channel B, which is Whereby. We're going to get you on Whereby right now. KC6JPG. Hello there. Hey, no. Come back. Ron, come back. There you go. KC6JPG. Hi, Ron.
It's getting awful crowded here on Mount Wilson. All of a sudden, I got stepped on 3 times tonight. So, my brother Norm is not checking in tonight, and he got called out. He got called out for work, so he's on the road someplace, and so he won't be checking in, KD6OMV. And so we had a nice rain here on Sunday. It rained all day. It was gentle rain, and everything soaked in. And so everything's good. Back to you guys, KD6NIZ.
KD6NIZ, KC6JPG. Oh, very good, Ron. Well, thank you very much for coming in on our back channel. That's wonderful. That was wonderful. I'm glad you turned down the audio. You know what they say when you're about to go on to a live call-in show, right? Make sure you turn your TV audio down. It's all good. Ron, thanks for checking in. And speaking about the weather here, I'll tell you, here's what it looks like right now. It's absolutely beautiful. And but it was, and just like what Murph said, I was watching Huntington Beach, And yeah, the waves got a little bit bigger, but not that much bigger. And it was just amazing. And of course, right now, we got, quite a few people on the pier right now, which is really cool. And yes, this is live. This is actually a live shot of Huntington Beach. And I'll tell you, when I was watching, when I got home on Sunday from church, and I was watching the Huntington Beach live webcam, there were surfers out there, waiting for those big waves. But those big waves really never materialized. So it was quite interesting and quite amazing. A very interesting storm. Put the fear in everybody. So, all good. All right. Anyone else on Mount Wilson that'd like to check in? Come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control. All right, we're going to go to Snow Peak, and that's where the most interesting part is, because a lot of the flooding and the damage occurred onto Earl and Julie's area around the Palm Springs, Cathedral City, and of course going through La Quinta. It was a mess, and we're going to go right to Earl, KJ6DQR, and Julie, KJ6FYY, Cathedral City.
Hello, buddy. Earl here in the Cathedral City Club. Yeah, and Julie's over there. We had more rain in a few hours than we get in like a year and a half, so it definitely was wetter out here. Quite a bit of flooding. We lost power here for several hours, but backup power came on. We turned it on and it worked just fine. We had about 2,000 people with no power in the cove. And Indian Hills, where we have one of our repeaters, is still without power as we speak. So I don't know when they're going to get that back on. What else? Other than that, we fared pretty good. We had a big plumeria. I don't know if you call it a tree or a shrub, but it was big, higher in the house, that we planted. We brought home from Hawaii on our 10th wedding anniversary, which was 30-some years ago. It ripped it out of the ground, so I got it cut loose, and I got hopefully the gardeners will haul off tomorrow. So anyway, we fared pretty good. We had to drain the pool down some, and so it wouldn't overtake the joint, but all the drains worked good. I thought it was going to crest the curbs in the street, but we fared pretty good on that too. But some of the people here in Coachella Valley didn't fare so well, especially down in La Quinta area. Great big date trees snapped in half. Got to laying all over the side of Highway 111 here. It'll take them probably several weeks to get that cleaned up. What else? That's about it. Other than one repeater went down. All my antennas on the wind, I was worried about antennas, but they all stayed up quite well. And that's about it. What?
Power poles were lost in thermal on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, thermal lost 50 power poles. I think they're still without power down there. I think they've had trouble down there before. I think that salty clay soil down there eats up telephone poles. I'm just glad all my antennas stayed up, so yay. I don't have to fix anything. Anyway, hope everybody has a great week, and it'll take us several days to dry out. It's pretty still juicy weather out here. KJ6DQR.
KJ6DQR, KC6JPG. We're definitely having some audio trouble on the link. I'm not sure if you're hearing it on locally on Snow, the Snow repeater system, but I know that every time that we're getting audio modulation, we're getting some kind of all kind of, it's not harmonic per se, but it sounds like almost like QRM that's like interfering with the audio subband. Either that or the audio circuits on the link is, or the receiver is, starting to show a problem. Because I noticed that on Keith's transmission too when he came on. So something to definitely look at when things dry out. We may have to make a trip up to the hill. Well, we got to make a trip up to the hill anyway. I got some stuff to donate to the hill. So, well, very good, Earl. Thank you very much. Tell Julie we said hi, and thank you very, very much for checking in, and thank you very much for the report of your area regarding what some girl named Hillary did. So definitely left a mess. Indian Canyon completely, roadway were washed away at the wash crossing, and I mean, people are just using Dillon Road as a pass through right now, and it's absolutely crowded. But they got Highway 10 back open again, so which is great. So thank goodness. Thank you, Earl, for checking in. All right. Well, Keith, here's what I'm going to do. I know what's going to happen when you transmit. It's going to be audio mayhem. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go channel B, and we're going to go right to you, Casey. N6GKB, KC6JPG. Earl, Keith, it's great to see you. My brain is dead today. It's been a heck of a day. Keith, right to you.
Hello. Yeah, that sounded terrible, but I got every word he said. It just a lot of noise with it. Yeah, we've had we didn't get nothing up here in the high desert except steady rain, all soaked in, no big puddles anywhere, nothing. Got some wind for about 3 or 4 hours Sunday night. And then we had a good downpour for an hour or two, but we had just barely over 3 inches of rain here in that 24 hours, which it all came down in like 24 hours. It's just a very slow rain, very nice. I was waiting for the storm to hit, so I don't know what happened to it. I guess Earl down there took all of it and kept it down there, but I did see some videos this morning of people making videos down there, the streets and the freeway, how bad it was. I-10, couldn't believe that. Wow, what a mess. And then another guy made a beautiful video of whitewater. If you've ever seen whitewater out here, usually it's this nice, clear, clean, cold water flowing, and it makes the white, tops beautiful. Well, they were upstream a little bit from the freeway and got to see the front of Mayhem coming down whitewater, and wow, it was like 4 or 5 times wider of water coming down through that wash than whitewater usually is itself, and it was black. So we have black water coming down. Must have been all the washes off from all the fires in the past few years actually coming down, and you could tell it with the debris, the stuff that was in it. Yeah, it's from way up in the canyons up there. It was coming down enough where it washed. It came. Oh my gosh, what a video! I watched it twice, and it joined up down, with the white water, and it was just all black water coming down for I don't know how long, but it was terrible looking, but a lot of water. So moving some of them boulders down there too with it, and of course lots of debris, but. That was the biggest thing I saw, but the other YouTube videos that people were making of low desert, yeah, it was Palm Desert, looking into everything like he said down through there, just a disaster. So I thought we'd get some. I'm watching all this stuff going, nope, nothing out there. Nothing. Oh, wait a minute, it is coming down a little bit. Oh, okay, here it comes. No, that wasn't it. And Monday morning, here we are, blue sky. I'm going, well, we missed that one again. But I see that there was a lot down the hill. San Diego got blasted pretty good in some spots. So some area, like my brother, he got, I guess he took all the rain. But so it was spotty for some. But I think the low desert was the brunt of it all. And kept it pretty cool. I mean, yesterday I think our high was only like 78. Right now it's 75 outside, but it did get up to about 85 today. Something around there. So anyhow, everybody at least did come out. Sounds like safe, which is great because it was it could have been really catastrophe for a lot of people. Southern California is a big place with a lot of people in it. Could have had a lot of problems there. So glad it turned out to be what it was. N6 GKB in Yucca Valley.
N6 GKB, KC6 JPG. You're exactly right, Keith. It could have been a lot worse. As we're tracking the storm, throughout the later part of the week with Cat 3, and it's making its way paralleling the Baja California Peninsula. It was a bit nerve-wracking, and you saw the track, and as soon as it hit land, it did pretty much, declined to Category 1, and of course by the time it hit San Diego, it was already a tropical storm. So thank goodness for that. Over 20 million people here in Southern California, and of course Sunday was a quite an e-ticket ride, because not only that we had a tropical storm that passed through, but a 5.1 earthquake in the same day. So Mother Nature's pissed. Is that called karma or what? But all that matters is that everyone escaped through the storm very, very well. I'm so glad to see our group, doing very, very well. And of course, the neighborhood around here, and it looks like Tom, fared very, very well. Like Tom said, very mild winds, and with the condition with his tower, thank goodness. So, thumbs up, you guys. And Keith, thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful report. And definitely, basically keep everyone, positive down there in the lower desert area of Coachella, and they'll get everything all cleaned up and roads back repaired again. Very good. All right, anyone else on Snow Peak that'd like to check in with the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net? Come in at this time. KC6 JPG, Net Control.
Roland, I don't know if you're talking to me in that condition. Pretty bad tonight. This stuff is 6 ISD in Porter Ranch. 73, if you copy me. Like I said, I think it's our turn here, but your signal fades and so the audio. 73, everyone. This W6 ISD back to net control, if you copy me.
Now W6IST, KC6JPG, perfect copy. After that QRM went away, you were perfect after that. I'm going to go back to Keith because he raised his hand there for a moment. So, Keith, we're going to go right back to you, KC6JPG.
I didn't notice. I forgot to mention my notice. I just had to mention my granddaughter behind me. She's always got one of my HTs with her. So, yeah, as soon as I get her to understand reading and writing, and get her on a... have to get her a license. She's always taking my HTs, so I had to put a picture up there.
Oh man, that's perfect. We got a ham radio operator and an amateur television net control in training. That's awesome. Oh, very good. Thanks, Keith. All right, we're now going to go to Oak Mountain this time, and guess what? We're going to go right back to Alan, W6IST in Porter Ranch. Alan, great to see you tonight. Come on back, my friend. Come in for an official check-in.
Okay, Roland, and that conditions picked up a little bit. I heard all of that, and it was real good, so I don't want to hold it too long here. But we had about a little over 3 inches of rain, and everything is fine. So let me turn it back to you, Roland, before we lose everyone else here. Back to that control, this W6IST.
W6IST, KC6JPG. One more thing, Alan. Earthquake-wise, what was your feel score, quote-unquote? KC6.
But not bad. It's just a little rolling here, so it probably would have looked like a 2 or 3 here. So it wasn't bad at all. Go ahead.
Very, very good. Yeah, I was on the second floor of our control room, and I just felt a very mild roll for about a couple of seconds, basically. Saw some of our pass badges swaying back and forth just slightly, and I was in Fontana. So I'm like, Okay, that was an earthquake. Along with a hurricane or tropical storm. Well, very good, Alan. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for the field report. All right, let's go to the west side of Simi Valley, and that's where Bob is at, W6KGE. And what was your field report, Bob? No Bob tonight. Wow, that's unusual. Well, let's go to the east side just in case Glenn is up and able. WA6GMB, Glenn, Simi Valley. How about Steve in Ventura, WA6EJO? Anyone else on Oak Mountain? I'd like to check in. Come in at this time. KC6JPG, neck control. All right, let's go to Santiago Peak and let's check in our buddy Gordo, WB6NOA, Costa Mesa.
Well, a little bit of interference. Let's see if that clears up in maybe just a minute. A very good evening. Hold on. Well, maybe that's the best we're going to do. Not sure that you're hearing audio. Do you hear audio? Over.
Gordo, we are hearing audio being recorded, and you're doing great, even though that there's a little bit of buzz and a little bit of QRM noise. So you're good. Right back to you, KC6JPG.
All right, well, terrific. Well, we had about 3 inches of rain, and yeah, it was sort of a letdown for those of us that had prepared for a rented event. We call that real event drill, and the telltale was on Sunday late afternoon. The barometer absolutely plummeted, so we were likely near what was left of the eye of the low pressure. And when it went down, the winds really came up for only about, there we go, only for about a half hour, and the winds were quite strong. So it was quite an event for real event drill, more of a drill than an actual emergency. But let me tell you, the hams were prepared. Want to thank Gary for helping the other Gary, who has a long broadcast commercial television station career, come up on the air, and hopefully we'll see a bit of his signal. And Michael for coming up with the equipment for my station that's now over at Gary's station. But Gary, thank you for helping a fellow ham come up on amateur television, because that's what it is. There we go. So everybody have a great week, and good to see all of you. Yep, we survived everything. WB6 November Oscar Alpha. And no, that's not me.
I know that ratty signal anywhere, and it's definitely not Gordo. You got it, my man. Okay, WB6NOA KC6JPG. Well, we got that we got all the audio there, my friend, and thank you very, very much. And you know what? We practice and we do drills, and yes, I was involved with RACES. I'm involved with our auxiliary communications unit with Rancho Cucamonga, Upland, and Claremont. And this is what we train for. And you know what? This was like a training drill. So not only that, Wolf being part of the National Weather Service, we were able to get some of the footage, get some of the conference footage and slides about the impending storm. We put it on the air on amateur television. So that was really, really cool. So Gordo, thank you very, very much for all that you do, and especially in your area, in your neck of the woods, in protecting life and property, and keep, like I said, greater numbers for the greater good. You got it. Thank you, my friend. Excellent job. All right, let's go over to Running Springs, and we will get a weather report over there, and that is Gary, W6KVC. Gary, we're going to try your transmission, and obviously if that doesn't work, we'll go Plan B. Right to you, KC6JPG, Nick Control. Okay, we're going Plan B. I love Plan B. It works great. All right, let's go to our buddy W6KVC, Gary, Running Springs. Gary, it's great to see you.
Okay. I guess I got audio 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
You got audio, my friend, loud and clear.
Anyway, we got about 8.9 inches in Running Springs the other night, and some pretty healthy winds because my 2-meter antenna on my shack was laying on the ground the next day. I got up. At least the house didn't get flooded and the roof didn't leak, so that was a good thing. And whatever, so. But a lot of water, and my drain system didn't clog up and flood my basement portion of my house. So besides, probably water's probably in my 70-centimeter Yagi, and so I'm going to have to let it dry out probably. I think one of the connectors there's got a leak in it. So hopefully by the end of the week it'll be dried out back to normal. And thanks to Jim, we found a motel up at Pacificon there. So I got the room, so Mike and I guess we'll be going to Pacificon there in October. So hooray for that, and whatever. So anyway, Marriott's all booked up and everything else, but there's a motel on the other side of the freeway about probably a couple blocks away that had rooms available. So I grabbed a double bed room for Mike and I. So we'll see everybody at Pacificon. So that's about it. We'll see what happens Friday and see if my RF will work by then. But if not, we'll go to Plan B. So back to you, Roland, W6KVC.
W6KVC, KC6JPG. No, very good, Garrett. And that's awesome that you're going to Pacificon. And, of course, would you know it, Pacificon is on the same weekend as the MS Beta Bay Bike Tour, year number 37. So we're continuing on that little journey. So very, very good. So thank you very much, Gary. I'm glad you scathed through the storm. That's wonderful and looking great. So thank you very much for checking in. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put in our buddy Gary, AA6GJ. So what he's going to do, he's going to put his transmit picture up, and I'm going to basically feed his audio through from Whereby into the system. So, and remember that Gary and I work with each other. He taught me a lot, especially with those big Ikegami cameras. AA6GJ, KC6JPG. Gary, great to see you, my friend. And let's give it a whirl. KC6JPG. AA6GJ, KC6JPG. Well, very good, Gary. Well, congratulations. And I know how you feel because when I first got on in 1993 and I turned on my transmitter, I felt that same way. If this was my if this is the station I worked at Comcast, I would be, well, you know. But you know what? It's all about the communication. It's all about the fun, and all about the experimenting, and all the different modes that we have available. And that's what it's all about. You got it. And of course, you know, I'm running digital.
Absolutely.
You know, and you can see on the repeater has this little corpse. I'm doing my little max headroom routine right now, but it's all good. You got it. So, Gary, congratulations, my friend. I heard your audio, got your video. That's wonderful. So that worked out really well. So thank you very much for checking in. Appreciate you, bud. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. Anyone else? Let's go back to Tom for an official check-in. Yeah, WB6HYH. Tom, come on back.
Okay, WB6HYH. Yeah, it didn't work there, Roland. His audio didn't come through on the RF side. And I don't have whereby right now. For some reason, I'm locked out of the whereby room. But I got a new computer, and I guess it didn't recognize it or something. Anyways, but it's good seeing Gary in there. His picture's looking pretty good. And, yeah, you know, RF still works pretty darn good. So we like it. As opposed to that digital stuff. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. Anyhow, let's see. What was I going to say? I had something else here I wanted to talk about. And you turned it back to me and it left my mind. But anyways, we had a lot of good rain here. I couldn't, like I said earlier. Oh, and I was talking about fixing up my antenna. I've been working on, I have a classic, Mosley Classic 33. Was given to me by a buddy of mine up in Sacramento. And I've got everything but the boom. So I'm going to take my TA33 down and use that boom to make a Classic 33. And I'm going to add another element. It'll basically add 12 and 17 meters to the beam, and it'll make me a five band beam up there. Although the 12 and 17 meters is just going to be a rotatable dipole, but it's better than what I got now. I don't have anything for those bands, so we're going to add that and put that up when we're fixing it up. Going to put a new thrust bearing top the tower. And probably put some all new cable up and everything. It's been up there for about 30 years. It's a long time. And get it all fixed up so it'll last another 30. And I doubt that I'm going to last another 30, seeing how I'm almost 76 now. But if I do, at least it'll still be working. Those Mosley antennas, I tell you, they're good antennas. They're still selling the same antenna they built back in the 60s. And that TA33 is a fantastic beam. Yeah, I get through pileups with it all the time and contesting and everything. I get disappointed if I'm not on second, third call. I don't get through, so it works great. Let's see, what else was it? Just been working out in my garden. I went out and rotor-tilled I got a plot of land out in the back there. Lower 40, I guess, or something. Actually, it's about 40 square feet. Not even that, I don't think. But anyways, I got a little piece of land out there, and while it was all soaked down really good, I got my rototiller out and rototilled the daylights out of that today. And I don't know who got the better end of that, the dirt or me. I'll tell you, my arms and my back and my legs, everything's aching now. But at least the dirt, boy, it crumbled up really nice out there. So getting ready to fix that up and get me some veggies going out there. I don't eat enough veggies, and I like fresh vegetables are great. So we're going to do that. Ham radio wise, I'm kind of just working on getting that tower beam going up there again, and Oh, the other thing that happened, Mike stopped by a few days ago, and we were going to raise the tower up a little bit, and the cable on my winch that pulls it up and down broke. And luckily the tower wasn't up very high when it broke, but boy, it snapped and it really scared us. And so I got to replace the cable on my winch now. I don't know what made it. It was all frayed, and it looked like it had been frayed for quite a while because it was kind of rusty, and it was weathered quite a bit in the frayed area. So that was interesting. So I got some work to do out there, but other than that, that's about it on my end here. Yeah, luckily, according to my weather station, our winds didn't get over 12 miles an hour all 2 days of the storm there, and but we did get over about 6.5 inches of rain, so that was pretty impressive. But yeah, if all hurricane storms are like that one, it won't be too bad. Although I gotta say, some areas did get hit pretty good, so yeah, we're thinking about those people in those areas. We don't want to do that again. Anyhow, that's about it from here, Roland. Turn it back to you. And again, Gary's audio didn't come through if you were trying to pipe it through the RF there. All I got was a lot of static noise. So back to you. WB6HYH, Rancho Cucamonga.
WB6HYH, KC6JPG. Very good, my friend. Thank you very much, Tom, for coming back in. Yeah, everyone heard it on Whereby, and of course watched Gary's transmission on Whereby, and so we did that hybrid. But unfortunately, when Gary was transmitting, 2.4 takes priority. So there's no way that I would be able to get in on my 434 because 2.4 is the priority. So yeah, so I was watching the meters at on my recording gear, and yeah, it was kind of like staticky and all that. But hey, we got the audio from Whereby, so that was terrific. So, and we know that Gary Station is doing well in regarding his AV setup because he's feeding the same camera, same everything as from his switcher, and so that's feeding great. We just have to investigate what's going on with that transmitter regarding the audio situation. So hopefully it's just something very simple. Well, I'm just proud that Gary's on the air, and we heard him, and congratulations. That's, like I said, that's one tall step for mankind. Welcome back on the air, Gare. I love it. Anyone else on Santiago Peak that'd like to check in, come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control. All right, we're going to go to Job's Peak. Job's Peak check-ins come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control. All right, I keep crossing my fingers. Santa Barbara check-ins coming at this time. KC6JPG, net control. All right, one more time for any RF check-ins. At this time, all systems in Southern California or RF on Nevada. KC6JPG, net control. All right, we're going to our chapter stations now, and we're going to go back east to North Carolina, and that's where our buddy John is at, AF7PA in Mooresville. John, good evening.
Well, good evening, everybody. I didn't have to get the duck call out. It's been severe clear for 3 or 4 days. I did see a notice on the bottom line of my screen a while ago that said severe winds starting, but now it says 79 and mostly clear. So I figure it's my choice. I'll keep the mostly clear. Other than that, no wind, nothing. Wow, what was that?
Someone has a phone call.
Somebody's got a phone.
Yeah, you want to everybody mute your microphones, please?
There you go.
Well, that sounds better here anyway. So, with that, I'll turn it back to you, Roland, and maybe I'll have to mow the grass or something just for entertainment. AF7PA in downtown Mooresville.
AF7PA, KC6JPG. No, very good, John. Great to see you, and I'm glad it's going to be nice and calm and clear, and beautiful days ahead. So sounds good. Take some video of you mowing your lawn. We'll put that on the next net for next week. Speaking of next week, I'm looking for net control for next week because I got a client that I got to take out for dinner. He wants dinner, not lunch. So anyway, so Gare, if you're interested, let me know. All right. Thanks, John, for checking in. Appreciate it. Let's go to New York. And that's where our buddy Manuel is at, into MJF. Manuel, great to see you tonight, my friend. How's it going?
Yeah, just the usual here. 70 degrees, low humidity. It was kind of chilly this morning, 65 degrees. Listening to the same stuff, a lot of action that usually happens in New York, the same usual stuff, you know, people getting shot. You know, I'm telling you, man, I got to open up a straitjacket store. I'll be doing the killing if I open up a straitjacket store. Yeah, you guys.
Get that new radio.
Yeah, you guys in California got hammered too. That's crazy. Wow. So, let me see. It was a hurricane and an earthquake you guys got here. Mostly nice weather we got. I give it back to you, Roland.
And to MJF, KC6JPG. No, very good, Manuel. Yeah, we had shake. We usually call it shake and bake when an earthquake comes because it's usually like Santa Ana winds and clear skies and hot temperatures. Not this time. It was shake and twist and soak, super soak twist. There you go, with a little bit of a shaking action. Very good, Manuel. Thank you so much for chiming in, my friend. Glad you're doing very, very well. Very good. All right, we're going to Massachusetts, and that's where our buddy Stephen is at, KC1LPZ. Stephen, good evening. How's everything going tonight?
It's been real busy. Anyone who thinks retirement is easy, I don't know. I'd rather be working full time. It's been crazy busy. And one of the places that one of my ham buddies and I went to is a new diner in Amherst, New Hampshire. And they have and I don't drink soda, very rarely, but this is cream soda, and they make their own. It's one of the last of the homemade cream soda places locally, and it's absolutely super. And I also spent some time at HRO getting a few cables and adapters, and God knows, I don't even remember half the stuff we did today. So that's my story here. And we didn't get the rain like you guys did in California. We got about an inch of rain. I think it was just slightly less than an inch, but we'll call it an inch of rain here in Massachusetts. And, so in many respects, the weather has been so much better around here than it has been in California, Hawaii, and Nevada and all that stuff. So I got a lot to be thankful for, even though we're busy as hell. KC1, LPZ, back over to the net, and I'm going to enjoy my cream soda.
KC1LPZ, KC6JPG. Well, very good, Stephen. Thank you, and definitely enjoy that cream soda, my friend. It's certainly looking absolutely delicious. Cheers to you. Very, very good. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, there you go. East Coast. Now we're going to make our way to Florida this time, and we're going to make our way to the Net Control and the man that I relied on for national weather, especially with the hurricane coming over here into California, and that is my buddy Wolf, KV4 ATV. So, Wolf, it's great to see you, and I'd like to say thank you very much for the service that you provided, and it turned out very, very well. We definitely got it on the air on the Amateur Television Network and all points around. So we definitely appreciate your work. Right to you, my friend, KC6JPG, Net Control.
Good evening, Roland and the group. And just wanted to say it was a little bit of a challenge, me backing up California and stuff, sitting down here in Florida. But we were able to get into the San Diego and the Los Angeles NWS rooms, and I was talking to the meteorologist and picking stuff up, and also I was getting information stuff from the Miami Hurricane Center that had stuff tracking. That's what I was feeding you, Roland, for you to get it out there. Both of the San Diego and the LA offices was requesting, if I could, if anybody has any storm reports from out there, any of the hams, as far as wind damage, floods, et cetera, rain amounts, if they could get them over to me, I was going to do up a report and stuff with them doing after action report to kind of see what they didn't get otherwise. Other than that, we've been working on our meteorology down here, keeping an eye on everything. We got the 5 or 6 systems we had out there on the Atlantic moving this way. I think, Roland, I shot you a picture over to let you know that we had stuff jumping on both sides of the states, and I was tracking that and doing yours at the same time. As far as my Arden Mesh, I've got it up and running, trying to build a server, having a bunch of headaches and stuff that I've still got to work out with a Arden Mesh, but that's another project. Anyhow, that's about where we're at right now. Still got the Suburban down, got the computer in, all of that straightened out, but got a fuel filter today, and the fuel pump was supposed to show up, and for some reason it left out of Texas, out of Houston area, and instead of coming over here to the Pensacola for delivery today, it wound up halfway between Birmingham and Atlanta. So maybe it'll be here tomorrow. That's got to get down here. Otherwise, I'm going to have to ask my friend Ron, KK4YZE, for assistance to get me to a medical appointment. It's very critical this Friday, all the way up by the airport, so that I can start collecting the stuff on this asbestos. So Ron's been a big help to me, and I've been trying to also work out any problems for his vehicle in the process. It's been hot as ever down here. We got heat indexes tomorrow for anybody, Ron, in this area, expecting 113 to 118 on the heat index. Our index is probably going to shoot way over 120 with humidity. Right now we got 84 temperature, 84 humidity, and the real feel, the heat index right now in Panama City is 97 degrees. So anyway, Roland, that kind of gives you a follow-up, and I enjoyed being able to fish up the information and relay it over to you to get out to everybody. And like I said, if people would kindly get those reports over to me, just use my call sign at gmail.com. I'd like to put an after-action report together and get those out to the weather services. Those guys were really happy that we were able to get the stuff fed in from places that they couldn't get the information otherwise. So ham radio did prevail again. All right, back to you, Roland, and let you get to Ron and the other people. This is KV4ATV Net Control, Panama City, Florida.
KV4ATV, KC6JPG. Well, very good, Wolf. Thank you very, very much for all your assistance, and thank you so much. And of course, speaking of Ron, we're going to go right to him now. And KK4YZE, KC6JPG, I'll tell you, You two played a big part for us, and I really appreciate it. Just like Wolf said, ham radio prevailed again, always, and that's what the general public doesn't really realize on what we do behind the scenes to keep things under control, as they say. Ron, right to you. KK4YZE, KC6JPG.
KK4YZE here. Hey, as Wolfgang said, you guys just had a taste of what we experienced almost 5 years ago, and we're still recovering from that. So the whole city is still a mess. It's trying to rebuild, but it's got a lot of growing pains. As Wolf said, it's been very warm, hot, and dry here, very humid. But other than that, I'm still trying to spend what free time I can away from my job to start packing up all my stuff out of my house, so that the contractors could come in on September 12th. And so September 11th is my final day of having my house ready to be inspected by the contractor so he can come in and do his work. It's an ironic date, 9/11. My son Jake goes home this Sunday on the 27th, back to his mother in Cincinnati. And I'll spend a few days with my granddaughters and my son and his wife up in Cincinnati as well. So I'll be back Wednesday. I do not know if I will be able to get on the net there or not. Hopefully I can, and I can show my son and my granddaughters what I do on Tuesday night, if they might be in bed at that time. I think they're on Central Time Zone as well, Cincinnati. So y'all have a wonderful evening and a great week, gentlemen. And we'll see you next time, KK4YZE. Oh, and the background is me playing the shofar for the Passion Play. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's me playing the shofar.
KK4YZE, KC6JPG. Now that's cool. Very cool, my friend. Passion Play. You got it. That is a very interesting instrument. So thank you very much for sharing that. And you take care. And I won't be here next week for the net, but I know Gary, my buddy, is gonna pick it up for me, right, Gary? Yeah, you got it. Thanks. Thank you, Ron, for checking in. Really appreciate it. All right, let's go to Arizona this time. And this time we're going to go to the net control for the Arizona group. And that's our buddy Lee, K0CCU, over there in Glendale, Arizona. Lee, I know the storm split in two. One side went to Jim and the other side went to you. How did you fare through the storm? KC6JPG, net control.
Well, anyway, the storm, it went around us here also. We got a few sprinkles. It wet the car down, and it wet the cool deck on the pool. That's about it. It has been working though, because the little bit of lawn that I have in the front yard, the splotches that I have out there, they're growing. So I suppose I need to put some seed or something into the rest of the places. So, but that just means there'd be more of it that I'd have to take and mow. So anyway, there was something else I was going to say to Roland, but I haven't any idea what it is, because when you get to be almost as old as John, you start to remember things, but they're not what the things you're supposed to remember. There's the things you forgot and don't remember, and if you get all of that, I haven't any idea what you're talking about. Anyway, did I go around in circles good enough there? I talk almost like Manuel does there, straight jacket and all. I notice this is one of my favorite shirts. You can't see it here, but it says Fry's Electronics on it, and so it kind of looks like I'm either a referee and the stripes, or I'm out of prison and the stripes are going the right direction. I'm not sure which, but anyway, it's about all I got here, Roland. Good to be on the net. I come in here late on Tuesday nights because my wife and I are taking a class, and we just went through a quickie review of Luke tonight. So it's fun. And I brought home a book that I got, all these martyrs that are The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's a pretty thick little book. We'll find out what that's about. Anyway, back to you, Roland. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. We did have a few people check in last night on the DMR net. We didn't see you, but we did check in. John checked in and checked out just before 8:30. We had Manuel was in there for a little while, and let's see, myself and somebody else. Oh,
I was there.
Jim checked in for he checked in and out there too. So we had about 4 of us showed up there, but we never did see KC6, whatever that guy's name is out there in Rancho Cucamonga. We never did see him, but we kind of figured that he probably fell in one of the potholes of the rain that they got up there, like Tom was getting. So we figured that he probably was having trouble pedaling that stationary bike back through the water. Anyway, back to you, Roland. KC6 JPG and the net, and then we can give it to Wolf again. K0CCU. Back to you, Roland.
K0CCU, KC6JPG. Well, very good, Lee. Thank you very much. I'm glad you didn't get doused like we did. We just like what Tom said. We ran to Cucamonga. We got about 6 inches of rain, and I believe it because I had a little lap pool in my dog run. So never seen that one before. Had to shovel water out and drain, clear out my drain. So that was quite interesting. We're going to go back to Wolf now. KV4 ATV, KC6JPG. Wolf, yes, sir. Come on back.
Hey, Roland, just wanted to make a last-minute comment to remind everybody if they could, any reports of stuff, floods, tornadoes, hurricane damage, whatever, trees down, etc., power outages. National Weather Service asked me to make a after-action report, and I did pick up something that I put into one of my slideshows and stuff, that ham radio has now been recognized very, very strongly by government officials, and they have even admitted that putting them in the same place at the same time with what they've got, they could not do what we can do. There's just no way they couldn't compete. And I was just going to say, Roland, at times like this, everybody says ham radio is a hobby. Excuse me, when a disaster strikes, ham radio is no longer a hobby. It becomes a profession. It's a calling, and a calling that must be answered. I just leave it at that, Mike. Roland, I'm sorry. Anyhow, everybody keep that in mind that in times of emergencies, it's no longer a hobby. It turns into a profession. It's a calling, and it's a calling that must be answered. KV4 ATV, Net Control, Florida.
KV4 ATV, KC6JPG, and you're exactly right. Like I said, ham radio runs in the background. It runs when we are needed, and we do it by the greater numbers for the greater good. And that's what it comes down to, just like what Gordo said. This was a drill. And, just like what Ron said, just like what you said, and this was just a taste of what you guys go through out there in South and West Florida area. We got it very mildly. And, like I said, what we experienced was, at least here in the South Bay, in the Southern California basin, we received it pretty mildly. It was basically out in the deserts that got the brunt of it, and that's because it's a desert. They don't have watershed. They don't have places to store water. They have, channels and aquifer, they've got the Whitewater River basically that runs, and it's getting the snow melt, from the mountains above. And when that storm came and dropped down 10, 12 inches of rain, as a matter of fact, what is that? San Jacinto Peak received over 12 inches of rain up there. And that water's got to come down somewhere, and it certainly did. And guess what? Ham radio was out there. Ham radio played a huge calling for shadowing our agencies. And, of course, what we here at Amateur Television, we did exactly what we did. We basically took emergency communications, and we were communicating it to the amateur radio community. And that's exactly what we did. And you were a big help with that. We really appreciate it. Hate to disappoint you, but we didn't have any trees falling over here at Rancho. Just some leaves all over the place on the streets and some twigs basically, but nothing major here at Rancho Cucamonga. So we fared very, very well. Like I said, just like what Tom said, we had very mild zero wind here, and it was amazing. I was at church in Fontana, same thing. Got rain, steady rain, but it was just a very, very mild wind, if any wind at all. So, Wolf, thank you so much, my friend, for checking in or coming back. We really appreciate it. Continuing with Arizona, let's go to Rod, WB9 KMO, over in Mesa. Rod, good evening, my friend. Well, he popped in and he's not there. Okay, we'll get back to him. All right, well, let's go to Nevada this time, and let's check in our buddy Dennis, KA7HQP. And Dennis, how'd you fare the storm? Because little Miss Hillary went your neck of the woods too. So right back at you. KC6JPG, net control.
Yeah, good evening, Roland in the net. Yeah, Hillary never made it up to continental United States. Not really. Everybody was saying there was a hurricane coming, and it never made it. But that's a good thing. But everybody's dancing around, calling in the National Guard, and screaming that it was going to be really bad, and it really wasn't. The storm, the resultant storm that was left when it was declassified from a hurricane, it actually went between Vegas and Los Angeles. So I would think that the desert areas of California should have really got hit hard. But so we didn't have any power outages to really take notice of. We really didn't have a lot of wind damage to take notice of. But Lake Mead, the docks over at Lake Mead. Let me turn this down, I guess. Yeah, the docks over at Lake Mead, they were almost destroyed, and I think it was due to the fact that they normally were moving the docks out as the lake level was dropping, that maybe they didn't secure it well enough. And so they may have cut corners, and that's why that got damaged as much as it did. My aunt, she actually is in Ventura, 15 miles away from the earthquake, and her biggest complaint was falling pictures. But yeah, she was pretty close to that. The thing that's we noticed last night, next to the outdoor lights in our backyard, were because of the moisture that of all the rain, the bugs are going wild now. So there's this bug that everybody refers to as fairies, and there were a whole slew of them on the ground. I'm assuming those were the males, and they probably did their job, and the females probably flew away and left the males behind to die, which is probably their life cycle. So, and then the other thing is, I kind of want to find somebody with a 3D printer that is bored with it or doesn't have enough projects. I'm thinking of a desktop stand for handheld 2-meter radios, 440 radios, Bearcat scanners, but incorporating the charger, the external speaker, probably a mic plug, and an external antenna connection. And I think that would be an interesting, it's something interesting to make on a 3D printer. But I don't have the time to spend on the learning curve that's required to do one of those. Got too many irons and too many things going on right now. That's about all I got. I'll throw it back to you. Rolling in the net. This is Dennis, KA7HQP.
KA7HQP, KC6JPG. Well, very good, Dennis. Thank you very much for checking in tonight, and glad the storm didn't make it into your neck of the woods. And it was quite interesting because with the tropical storm that was heading into Southern California, it was just starting to break apart. And then when that earthquake happened at 2:40 on Sunday, it was interesting because then that's when the storm really broke apart, where the west part of the storm went direction of San Francisco, and the eastern part went to Arizona. So it almost like someone took a knife and split it, and there it goes. It was quite an interesting phenomena. But then again, there's Mother Nature. So go figure. Thank you, Dennis, for checking in. Really appreciate it. We're going back to Arizona, and that's where Rod is at, WB9 KMO. So, Rod, it's great to see you tonight, my friend. Hope everything is okay with you. And let's see what's happening in your part of the woods. KC6JPG, net control.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was watching here, and then all of a sudden you throw it at me, and I've got the camera across the other side of the room, and I got to push 6 buttons to connect, and I need more notice. That's the bottom line. So anyway, things are not going good here at all. Cheryl's getting over COVID, which is the good thing. I feel like the last day or two I'm coming down with COVID. I haven't taken a test yet, but I've got it right next to me here in the chair. And it doesn't matter whether I have COVID or not. I feel really bad. So it might be the flu, might be COVID, and I think I'm going to be a mess for the next 2 days. Plus, my house
Good to
is
be
still
vaccinated.
all a disaster with the flood. The damage has been removed, but I have 4 rooms that are really messed up, plus everything scattered around the house. If you know my place, it's crowded anyway, but you take a couple rooms of things and you add those to everything else, and the house is kind of, well, we're living in the living room and upstairs in the bedroom. That's about it. So anyway, we had only little drips and drabs here. Some winds they got excited about, but they didn't amount to much. And in Arizona, it just always matters where you are at any instant in time. 5 miles away, you could have a near tornado situation, and then where you are, it'll be totally calm. And so we ran into some of that. Apache Junction got really nailed, and we were right on the edge of it, just got sprinkles and light winds. So I'm glad you guys got through it pretty well. I'm hearing things like, well, we had 3 inches of rain. Yeah, that's a little bit scary. And there's something going on in Vegas with some lake. I don't know if it's Lake Mead or something that's near overflowing. I saw a glimpse of it. Maybe Dennis can comment on that, or if he did, I missed it. So there are bad things happening. And this thing about the earthquake, last I heard it was a 5.1, and that's not huge, but it's definitely significant. Things that are 3.5 happen all the time and nobody notices, but when it gets up to 5.1, people notice. And it's interesting that it's coincidental with that big storm coming through. Can't help but think that they're related somehow. People, when I lived in California, there were always theories about when it got really hot and dry in California, that's when the earthquakes hit. Well, that's not what happened this time, but there does seem to be a connection. Anyway, I jibber-jabbered enough. I'm going back, crawling back into my hole, but I'll be around to chat later. Thanks for doing the net, and a great turnout tonight. That's why I'm hanging out in the wings. Back to you, Roland. This is Rod, WB9 KMO, East Mesa, Arizona.
WB9 KMO, KC6JPG. Always great to see you, Rod. And please take care of yourself. Just get some rest. And, it's been going around. My sister and her husband just came back from a European trip, and she was tested positive. So it's going around again. So, right now we're just treating it like if you're getting the flu. Just pretty much stay in bed and drink lots and lots and lots of fluids. And so this way you won't get the muscle aches and things like that. So very, very important. Well, very good. Thank you, Rod, for checking in. We really appreciate it. All right. Well, we're going to Northern California this time. And that's our anchor man up there at Mount Diablo. And that's Jim, K6SOE. Jim, always a pleasure. right to you, my friend.
All right. Well, good evening, Roland in the net. Let's see. My report for the Hillary storm was I got an email late the evening before from the Salvation Army, and they were wanting people to check in on the HF net. So I would listen to, what was it, 1325 or something like that all day. And there was a net control back check-ins. We had about 5 or 6 check-ins all day. The weather reports from down south were a lot of wind and a lot of rain, but no imminent traffic or emergency situations that we had to deal with on the radio. So it was a fairly quiet day. As far as us getting any of the storm up here, it's just been a little bit overcast and high humidity that I think everything truly went on the east side of the Sierras and hit Reno. That we've got a low sitting, swirling off the San Francisco coast, which sort of protected us. So we lucked out from getting any aftermath from the storm, other than we're getting smoke from some of the fires up north, and hopefully we'll get some rain to put them out. I noticed the map in Canada, either half the country's burned down or they've been able to take care of some of the fires there. So I don't know. It's probably going to be till wintertime before they get those all the way out. So other than that, not too much new around here on ham radio. Today was the wife's birthday, and she's been getting phone calls all day from friends and relatives wishing her a good day. And I went out and got some takeout food for dinner for us. So that's what she wanted for dinner. So that's what I went and got. So anyway, I'll send it back to Roland, and we'll chat with everybody here in a little bit. K6SOE.
K6SOE, KC6JPG. Oh, very good, Jim. Thank you very much for chiming in, and happy birthday. And exactly. Look at that. If you're not watching ATV, you're just not getting the picture. Exactly, my friend. Exactly. Well, very good, Jen. Thank you very, very much for chiming in once again and doing what you're doing. And that's great that you are monitoring the Salvation Army net. That's terrific. And you're right. It was just it was more like a drill, and it's good because it keeps us on our toes. Just like right over here in Southern California with our auxiliary communications unit, RACES, Aries, and all that. We were ready. You know, we were ready for Code Red, but never came to be, and it was a great drill. So very good. Thank you, Jim, for checking in. We really, really appreciate you. All right. Well, that's the check-ins that I have it. Any RF stations I'd like to check in with the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net come in at this time, KC6JPG. Any late members, missed members, any visitors that like to check in come in at this time, KC6JPG, Net Control. Well, very good. No Newsline tonight. Newsline will be next week. And Gary, if you can pick up the net for me next week, I would really appreciate it. So thank you so much. This has been the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. We definitely appreciate each and every one of you checking in tonight. We had a full house tonight. Wow, it's past 9 o'clock. And normally I target 8 o'clock or 8:30 to end our nets. And we actually went to 9:00. Pretty much 9:10 tonight. So wow, fantastic net. Oh, and I see Dennis. I think he may have a comment. So we're going to go back to Dennis. KA7HQP, KC6JPG. Dennis, back to you.
Okay, so what's interesting is I see Ron Hill waving, and we're all saying goodnight to him, but he hasn't gone anywhere. So I'm wondering if Ron has something that he might want to bring up. So if you might inquire with Ron Hill, see if he has anything he needs.
I've been
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to Ron. Okay. You got it, my friend. Ron Hill, you got it. KD6NIZ, KC6JPG. Ron, right back to you, my friend.
You check Norman in for me?
Oh, that went quick on me. Come on back on that.
6 OMB?
He's muted.
I missed that, Ron.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Ron can hear me or not, but I know my audio's on. So, Ron, back to you. KC6JPG.
You know, I can't hear Roland. He's
It was
talking
asking you to
so
check
low.
in Norman.
Okay, Ron, can you hear me now? Right now, my meters are bouncing up and down like crazy. KC6JPG.
You're awful low. Let's see here. Let me.
Can you hear
turn
us?
my volume up here.
Roland.
Hi, Keith. How you doing?
Yeah, he wanted you to check in Norm.
Oh, okay. Well, I can check him in. Yeah. Is he online?
He's
He's been
working
trying to tell
tonight.
you that through the whole net.
Gotcha. Well, he's definitely checked in via Ron, KD6NIZ. So, Norm, you are checked in, my friend. You're checked in by relay. Ron, thank you so much on that, my friend.
You're fine, Ron.
Are you guys having a problem hearing me?
No, we hear you fine. We hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay.
I think we have an issue of communication. So, it's all good. All right. Ron, thank you so much. Very, very good. All right. Well, this has been the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. We thank you very much for your participation, everybody. We're going to go to our Whereby Roundtable now. That's where the fun is at. We call it the Afternet. This is Roland, KC6JPG, saying without you, there would not be a net. We appreciate each and every one of you participating with us tonight. And what a full house it was. It was absolutely wonderful. And I'd just like to thank you for those that have been involved with the hurricane/tropical storm Hillary. We thank you for your service. We thank you very, very much for protecting life and property here in Southern California. And thank you for your service. And hey, like I said, this is what we do. This is what we train for. And just like what Wolf says, when all else fails, amateur radio, ham radio prevails every time. I'm Roland, KC6JPG. The repeaters are now returned for their normal use. See you at the after party, at the Afternet. KC6JPG. Clear.